Yeah. Uh, Here to check out the altered TCG. I found they had like a learn to play thing. First of all, I don't know what the deal is with the QR codes um, on the cards. Apparently, you can own the card physically and digitally. Anyway, I just want to see if it was fun to play. Let's learn how to play altered. I can press the space key to make the tutorial progress instead of using buttons. Nice. You can use the minus to minimize tutorial explanations if needed. Uh-huh. Ah. Thanks, Neko Yancer. Oh boy. Okay. Well, two-player trading card game. Each player will play a deck led by a hero. This board game place has 6 different starter decks you can try out, each featuring cards from a different faction. If you want to experiment by building a new deck, you'll have to buy the real thing. That's interesting. Okay. Here's for the 6 factions are now displayed on screen. If you hover over them with your mouse, see more details. You can read a short blurb if you click. Alright, we got Sierra and Oddball. When you play a permanent with hand cost 3 or more, you may exhaust me to create a Brass Bug 2/2/2 robot token in target expedition. Okay. Kojo and Buddha. At noon, if you were the first player, create a Buddha 2/2/2 companion token in your companion expedition. Alright. Novanka and Blotch. Oh, wait, hold on. This was an Axiom hero, Bravos hero, Lyra hero, Lyra. So, exhaust, target a character you control, then roll a die. On a 6 or more, any die, okay. Gains anchored. During rest, it doesn't go to reserve, and it loses anchored. Okay. If you roll 2 or 5, 2 to 5, gains boost 1. Boost is +1/+1/+1. Move it when it leaves the expedition zone, and excuse me, I'm yawning. If you roll 1, send it to reserve. I'm not really feeling a die roll character. Sometimes I'm in the mood for that, though. This is Teja and Naura, Muna hero. The first character you play each afternoon gains 1 boost. Boost is +1/+1/+1 counter. Remove it when it leaves the expedition zone. Yeah, it seems alright. Sigismar and Wingspan, Ordis hero. At noon, create an Ordis recruit 1/1/1 soldier token in your hero expedition. At noon, if you're the first player, create a Buddha 2/2/2 companion in your companion expedition. When you play permanent hand cost 3, you can tap, you can exhaust. Okay, that one seems pretty sweet. Akesha and Taru, Izmir hero, exhaust. After you. You can only activate this if you're the first player. End your turn as if you'd played a card. You may still play cards later this day. This is a very funny card. After you. This seems kind of bonkers good. This seems pretty solid, though. I think I'm going to be a Kojo. Actually, first character you play each afternoon gains boost 1. Play permanent with hand cost 3 or more. Exhaust me. Create a 2/2/2 robot and target expert. I think I'm going to go with this one. This dude looks cool. Seems aggro. I'm just going to assume this is like a control deck, but it probably isn't. Okay. Okay. It just didn't matter. Ready to start? We're going to play this character. I don't know why I read any of these. I was like seriously expecting to just play the one that I liked. Yeah, okay. All right. Here we go. Okay, each player has selected their faction. The hero cards are placed in the center of each player's play area. You've probably already noticed that each hero card has 2 names on it, one for the hero, one for their trusted companion. Unfortunately, the heroes and companions have been separated. Okay. Each player gets 2 tokens to indicate their hero and companion locations. As you can see, they start at opposite ends of the arena at the beginning of the game. In Altered, players will use mana to play cards from their hands. Each card will help their hero and companion move toward each other while preventing the opponent's tokens doing the same. First player will to reunite their hero and companion wins the game. Okay, so I saw. Oh goodness, I can't remember the YouTuber's name. A TCG YouTuber who just had a big Gen Con haul, and they were describing Altered, and they basically summed it up to the object of the game is to pet a dog, and I thought that was pretty funny. So reunite the hero and the companion. Basically, go pet your dog. You win the game. Interesting though that Altered was kind of some of the language they use in their marketing is like non-combat gaming. You know, you're not fighting the other person, so or you're not like doing damage to the other person, but you are stifling them. Is what it sounds like is going to be happening. So anyway, okay. So Neko 3 will play the faction orders of the hero Sigismar Wingspan. I will play faction Izmir with hero Akesha and Taru. Neko draws 6 cards from its deck. You draw. Oh, okay. I draw some cards from my deck. After selecting decks, selecting decks. It's a weird phrase. Each player draws 6 cards from their deck of 39 and must discard 3 of them. These discarded cards will transform into mana that we can use to play the other cards. Okay, so basically I want to use the 3 worst cards in my hand to turn into mana. Dorothy Gale, character status. Well, here's something. I don't know what any of these stats mean. Dorothy, I have a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore. Okay, she's on a yellow brick road even. She's got 3 leaf, 2 mountain, 2 water. 5, 3. There's a handprint. You may send target character to reserve. I feel like 5 is going to be the cost. What if it's like power? Also, what does reserve mean? Spycraft, spell, disruption. Okay, so if it's about disrupting, that's kind of cool. So this is a character, this is a spell. And you'll see that they both have 2 stats. So 2. Fleeting. Send me to discard instead of reserve after my effect resolves. So reserve is maybe like the second version of your deck. Sabotage, then resupply. Discard up to 1 target card from a reserve. Discard up to 1 target card from a reserve. Put the top card of your deck in reserve. So sabotage, discard up to 1 target card from a reserve, my opponent's reserve. Put the top card of my deck in reserve. Okay. I'm going to keep that one. I'm going to see how that goes. Izmir Stargazer, Character Mage Scholar, 2/1, 1/2/1. Again, I don't really know what any of this means. She won't read the future in stars. She'll change it herself. This looks like your bare bones vanilla, like 1-drop, so I'm probably just going to keep it. Studious Disciple, 1/1, Character Mage Apprentice, 0/1/1. So far behind, so much to learn. Okay, this is the 1-drop, right? But this looks bad. I'm not going to keep this card. Okay, so we have 2 of these Stargazer cards. And then we have Alice, 3/3, 2/2/4. After you, X. After you. Discard me from reserve to do this. Oh, wait, did the other ones? Oh, I didn't see this. X. The next spell you play this turn costs 1 less. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to get rid of this and this. Wow. I guess this one. This card looks good, though. That's the problem. And yeah, why not? We're going to see what happens. You must use the continue button to continue the tutorial. Okay. Oh, okay. It's telling me what to click on. Oh, that's very funny. So this is actually what I was originally planning on giving up. And I went with 2 of these just instead. But this looks like a 1, 2, and 2. I'm assuming the blue is how much it costs to play. So I kind of almost got there. Then click on one of the 2 confirm buttons. Okay. So Neko makes 3 mana. I make 3 mana. Okay, 3 discarded cards were sent to our mana pool. If you click on it, you can see the cards we put there. The other 3 cards make up our opening hand. You should be able to see them at the bottom of your screen. Yes, I can. Now we're ready to start the game. For real! Each day, round of Altered has 5 phases. Morning, draw cards, refresh mana. Okay. Noon, some cards trigger abilities. Okay. Afternoon, players take actions. Dusk, tokens advance. Night, cleanup. Okay. That's a flavorful way to talk about phases, game phases. Don't worry, we'll go through them all step by step. Yeah, I'm sure. This icon will show what phase we are currently in. Okay. Right now it indicates noon because morning is skipped for the first round. I'll explain morning later. Phase 2, noon. How do you do? Okay. Not gonna worry about that. Some cards have abilities that trigger at noon. Hey, look, our opponent's hero, Sigismar, has 1 such ability. So he makes the 1/1/1. I remember that. In his hero expedition. I'll explain more about expedition soon. Okay, but it's on his left, or it's on my left side. It's the main part of the game. Players will take turns back and forth until they pass. Each player's turn consists of 2 steps. 1. Take as many quick actions as you want. Quick actions are executed by specific cards. You'll get to see some of them later. Play a card or pass. So basically, the way this says play a card or pass, I'm wondering if I could play more than one card. Also, we start with 3 mana, I guess. Whoa. They played a card from their hand. The number in the top left corner with a light blue background indicates the card's mana cost. As you can see, this card costs 3 mana. Oh, wait. The number in the top left with the light blue background indicates mana cost. That was my guess. There's 3 mana. Our opponent's mana pool has been completely drained as a result. I did notice that. So what's the dark blue? This specific card is a character. Orders Gatekeeper, character soldier. It's a 1/3/1. Are those the stats? Arrow. Create an Orders Recruit 1/1/1 soldier token in your other expedition. Okay. When characters are played, they must be placed in one of the 2 places, the player's companion expedition or hero expedition. Our opponent chose to place it in their companion expedition, which is the side closest to their companion, or the side where their companion starts, is from what I can tell. That's what's happening. As in many games, the bottom of the card has a text area for the card's special ability. This one is marked with an arrow, indicating that it activates whenever it is played. Okay. The card's special ability added a 1/1/1 token to the player's other expedition, joining the one that Sigismar created at noon. Yeah, so what do the numbers do anyway? Numbers represent a character's ability to help a hero or companion traverse the treacherous landscape of the altered world. At dusk, we're in dusk now, right? Afternoon is where all the stuff happens, and then dusk, and then night, I think. At dusk, for each region type in a hero or companion's current location, each expedition skill in that region will be compared against that of their opponents. Okay. If at least one of the relevant totals is greater than the opponent's corresponding total, the player's token can move. I know that doesn't quite make sense right now. Long story short, if we have bigger numbers than our opponent, we can move, and they can't. Okay. Since our opponent played a card, then... Damn, I can't quit yawning. Since our opponent played a card, their turn ended. So now it's our turn. So you can only play a card. That's what it seems like. I guess cards are not quick actions. We need to play some characters into our own expeditions to compete with our opponent. Let's start with Izmir Stargazer, which is on the right side of our hand. Select it, then continue. Now BJA wants to know which expedition we want to play, our hero or companion. Click here to place in our companion. Alternatively, click on companion side at the top. Yeah, this is fine. Great. Okay, that costs 2 mana. Use 2 of our available mana. We still have 1 left. Now it's our opponent's turn again. Did I skip draw step or what? Since our opponent... Wait, it's still afternoon. Since our opponent had no more mana with which to play cards, they had to pass. That means they have to skip all their turns for the remainder of the afternoon. We will continue taking turns until we are forced to pass as well. We still have 1 mana left, so let's play our Studious Disciple. Select it, place it in our companion expedition. This is the companion side. Now we will have 2 blue, which beats 131. I think is what that means. But they have 222? No, maybe 3 just beats 2. I don't remember how it works. We're out of mana, so we have to pass. Click pass at the top. Okay. Day number 1, dusk. Time to compare the strength of our expeditions. Take a closer look at the companion expedition. We can see that all 3 region types are present here. That means all 3 expedition skills will be compared. Okay. Here are the skill totals. Our opponent, 131. Us. Oh, it is totals, 132. Looks like we're tied in leaf and mountain. We have the edge in water. Since we have more than our opponent in at least one of the skills, our token gets to move. Since our opponent does not meet that condition, they can't move. But don't celebrate just yet. The hero expedition went uncontested, so their hero token will advance. Still, we made the right decision. Imagine if we had played our 2 cards in our hero expedition instead. Our totals of 132 would be matched against their 222. Both of us would have beaten the other in at least one skill, so both of us would have advanced. Okay. It's getting cinematic in here. Now that all the expeditions have been assessed, our companion and the opponent's hero will advance into the tumult, the area between our tokens. Tumult is comprised of 3 face-down tumult cards. Whenever a token advances onto a face-down card, it's flipped face up. Okay. Is it random what these cards are? 3 face-down cards? I guess it is. Oh, okay. Note that each tumult card is split into 2 areas. Each of these areas has a different set of regions. Our companion is now in an area with mountains and water. So if we want to advance, we'll have to beat the opponent in either mountain or water tomorrow. Beating them in grass doesn't work. Or in trees and leaves. Night includes 2 steps, rest and cleanup. In the rest step, all character cards in all expeditions are sent to their players' reserves. Okay. So the board state gets cleared. Our reserve can only hold 2 cards at a time. If we end up with more than that, we'll have to discard the surplus cards in the cleanup step. Cards in reserve can be played into expeditions again. Okay. Some, like the Studious Disciple, have special abilities that can only be used while in reserve. We'll see this in action soon. Sweet. That's it for round 1. From now, each round will begin with morning. In this phase, players refresh their mana, switch the turn order, draw cards, possibly gain more mana. Possibly gain more mana. So you can see each player's mana pool has already been refreshed. Last round, our opponent went first. They'll now hand over the first player token, which they are currently holding. This seems like a funny amount of moving pieces to play physically. I just feel like it'd be very easy to forget who went first, even with the token. Next, each player will draw two cards from their deck. Is it? No, just 2 cards. Okay. Each player now has the option to discard 1 card to increase, their mana pool by 1. We're definitely going to need more than just 3 mana to win the game. Select our new Studious Disciple. Click Confirm Mana at the top. Okay. Mana is refreshed. First player token is exchanged. Players draw 2 cards. Players can discard 1 card to gain 1 mana. Yep. It's noon again. So this activates getting a free 1/1/1. We'll get to activate our own hero's abilities. Do we have a hero ability? Why do we want to do that? Okay. Okay, it's afternoon again. It means time to take action. We're going first. Let's start by learning more about the reserve. Your function as an additional hand. That we can play cards from there back onto the field. When we do so, we must pay the reserve mana cost, the second top left number. Sick. That's cool. Stargazer costs 2 mana. When we played her from our hand, if we play her again from reserve, she'd only cost 1. Let's look more closely at the Disciple. Select him. Continue the next step. Should see 2 familiar options. Right. We want the support ability. Supports can be used when a card in question is in our reserve. Trigger them. Discard the card. Triggering a support card will not use up our turns. It's a quick action. Take any number of quick actions. Okay. So next spell specifically, not character, but this is a spell. Yeah. Normally we would do that, but it doesn't work here. Okay, you click it for me. Thanks. Alright, Disciple was discarded. We should play a spell now, take advantage of his effect. Spells are similar to character cards in that they require mana to play. However, instead of placing a character into an expedition, they have some other sort of effect. We have 1 spell in our hand, Spycraft. Select it and click on the glowing button to cast it. Alternatively, click on spell at the top. So this we're doing it. So you can see it only consumed 1 mana instead of 2, thanks to the Studious Disciple. A fleeting label. Cards with fleeting gain a fleeting token when played, which you can now see in the top right corner of the card. This token will cause it to be discarded after use. It won't go into a reserve. Oh, that token. Okay. Let's resolve the spell's effect. Choose a card in a reserve to discard. Remember, the Gatekeeper or opponent played it last turn. It's in their reserve now. They can play it again on their turn. Let's interfere. So select the Gatekeeper. Yeah. Let's resolve the spell's effect. Choose a card in our reserve. Choose a card in reserve. Remember? Yeah. Oh. Confirm target. Get discarded. Alright. Oh. We drew a 3/3. Or a 3/3/4. Our opponent's Gatekeeper has been discarded. Our Spycraft and another effect, moving the top card of our deck into our reserve. I mean, we get lucky on this one. I'm sure they planned it this way. Turned out to be Alice. Cool. Playing Spycraft ended our turn. Why? Oh, because we played a card. So now our opponent gets to do something, and then we get to do something until we both pass. They played their own. So why didn't they, because it's a tutorial. They could have just taken our good card out, but they didn't. Their hero expedition now has 3/3/3 total in strength. If we play Alice 3/3/4 in our own hero expedition, we'll be able to move our own hero token while blocking our opponents. Our opponent still has 1 mana left. Yeah, I know. Okay. Exhaust ability. Another kind of quick action. Can only be used once per round after you let us skip our turn. Why do we want to do this? Okay. She'll straighten up tomorrow morning. Let's see what our opponent does. What if our opponent just passes? Doesn't the day end? They had a 1 mana card after all. It's a good thing we didn't play Alice. Sure. I get the concept. Our opponent's out of mana now, so we can safely play Alice knowing our opponent can't do anything to counter us. But no, I don't want to. Water. Oh, but where we are counts water. I guess. Okay, reserve cards are always fleeting. Otherwise, it would be played over and over forever. Yeah, I thought that was what was going to happen. Force to pass. We're at a minute 2. We both pass. Oh, click pass. Okay. But now they have 2 cards in reserve. This is bad for me. Okay, I read those things kind of fast, so we'll see. If your deck runs out of cards, you need to draw more. Your discard pile shuffled to become your new deck. Okay. I don't know if I like that, but okay. 3 kinds of markers that I wasn't able to squeeze into the tutorial. +1, +2. Oh, okay, boosting. Yeah. Sure. An anchor at night. Characters with anchor are not moved to their owner's reserve. Instead, the anchor markers are removed. Character will stay in the expedition for another day. Okay, try to get a boost in an anchor. Got it. A sleep marker. Being asleep is similar to being anchored. Sleeping characters are not moved to their reserves at night. These sleep tokens are removed, and the character can stay in the expedition for another day. But they don't contribute to expedition strength if they're asleep. Landmarks have persistent effects and never leave play unless destroyed by an effect. You have room for exactly 2 landmarks here. If you build more than 2 landmarks, you'll have to discard 1 at night. Okay, here we go. I'm ready for my first game. Oh, are they not going to let me, Um... Okay, hold on. I'll be right back. Yeah, I think I'm gonna pass on building an account right now. I was hoping to play a full game in the tutorial, but I think um I could play online against a real person, provided someone else is online looking for a game. Just a possibility. They also have correspondence games. I'll show you what I'm talking about here. So real time, play a live game with other people simultaneously, sure. And then turn based, several days receiving a notification. So it's like correspondence basically. But this seems horrible because I don't know what the time limits are, but like you basically get one action and then you just have to wait on your opponent to do something. So a single afternoon in the game could take a week or so. Or, I mean, it could take 3 days. Anyway, um, you know what? The game seemed pretty interesting. Um, I would be willing to play this. I don't know if I want to play it on here, if I want to play it on TTS or something, but I think I'd be willing to play more of this. Get kind of a vibe from it. Um, do I have to make an account if I just try to do this? To go further, you must create an account. I don't want to do that, basically, so I'll pass on that. Um, Interesting. Tell you what, though, seemed good. Um, Seemed good. Yeah, I'm done.